So, Marija, Dragos, Tamar, you have the floor.
Well, let me just say by asking you, who would have thought at the beginning of this year that it will play out like this? I mean, what some people describe as the modern day plague came to be, and we all went back inside, offices closed, but all of us still managed to keep the world functioning and ourselves. So, firstly, a huge congratulations to each and every one of you. We learned, we changed, we grew to tackle new challenges and make use of new opportunities that emerged. So 100 ambitious future youth fellows answered which challenges and opportunities they see in our near future, and we'll present them to you today. So now I'd like to pass the word to my colleague Dragos to introduce you to some of the changes we see in Europe and the world.
Thank you very much, Marija. To begin with, I'm going to start by talking about Europe and the world. This is a broader topic, and part of this topic, people generally discussed about how will the European Union handle policymaking on major social issues, what is supposed to be the overall quality of life in society, how does society actually build a common set of values. And there was an overarching discussion around how actually ideology and politics and populism in general fall into this. In terms of challenges and opportunities, people saw a great match, and our respondents believed that social inequality is a great issue these days. However, they also believe that diversity is a great thing. And in that sense, recognizing and appreciating each other's differences, they believe will bring people together and will actually help us overcome our issues in the upcoming years. Then another interesting topic, which was outlined by our respondents, was migration. On one hand, in terms of challenges, people believe it's going to be tough to handle migration through policy, and it's going to be difficult to address the ongoing refugee crisis. On the other hand, also on this migration topic, the idea of workforce migration and actually being able to work for a company which lies abroad without leaving your country of origin is seen like as a great opportunity for the next years. One last idea, which was outlined in this area, is the human rights in general. People are generally concerned about the violation of human rights, how bills are created on gender ideology, and how the extreme right is pushing its policies and is influencing this whole construct. So generally, the rule of law issue is seen as a huge challenge for the upcoming times. However, the same respondents believe that it's a viable strategy and opportunity to penalize, especially EU member states who violate any type of human rights. So we see here a world which has its challenges and opportunities tightly coupled. Now, moving on to the second topic that I'm going to address, and that is technology. If we can, yeah, thank you. Respondents generally see that technology is a great enabler for actually developing individuals and for solving central issues in our current society. Even so, the respondents strongly also believe that the use of technology is not so straightforward. So when we talk about the challenges in this area, one of the most important one was finding the right balance between the digital life and the real life, identifying the real reality, so like things like deep fakes, and their impact on the mental health is seen as a great challenge for the next years. Other great problems are found around data privacy and keeping our information secure, and providing access to technology to vulnerable groups in remote areas, rural areas, and so on and so forth, especially for education. Now, things are not only dark, right? So surprisingly, I would say, there's a positive vibe around job creation. And people generally felt that the automation process is actually going to lead to an increase of jobs. And not only that, but it will also lead to safer jobs, because automation can lead to removing dangerous situations from our day-to-day job. Algorithms are also seen part of the solution. They can be used to identify and tackle fake news, cyberbullying, deepfakes, and so on and so forth. So to end this part, one last important opportunity that is seen around technology is delivering core social services. So facilitating education, delivering health services, medtech is a really important area. So delivering core services with a focus on education is an important opportunity for technology. So long story short, tech seems to be part of the problem, but also part of the solution. Now moving on to the third theme that I'm going to address, and that is food and retail. The discussion around this topic was mainly focused on whether people can actually access food services, what are our consumption habits, and moreover, where lies the responsibility? Does it lie in front of on the consumer side or on the producer side? Having these things on the back of our mind, one of the biggest challenge our respondents identified is actually how do we build awareness around the impact of food waste and what we consume. And not only that, but also how do we actually find proper packaging alternatives to what we currently have and what currently harms the environment. One last but as important challenge that I'd like to outline is ensuring that vulnerable groups have actually enough access to food and resources, be it products, be it food. It's going to be a tough moment for people who don't have normally access to food and this sort of resources in the upcoming years. But also on the brighter side, this group of people saw it as an opportunity, so the upcoming years as an opportunity for local producers and small and medium enterprises who are more likely to thrive. And also they emphasized a lot on what consumers do and think. So a lot of the respondents believe that shifting consumer patterns and ensuring that we are taking responsible decisions when we decide where to buy things from is an opportunity, and we should definitely use it whenever we buy food and products. Now, to move on, I'm going to pass the responsibility to Tamar to continue this discussion.
Hello, everyone. Thanks, Dragos, for introducing the so interesting topics. So overall, I will speak about for the following 12 minutes, and I will demonstrate the four main extremely important topics as well. The first one goes to health and well-being. The second is environment, climate, and energy. The third is cities and mobility. And the fourth is culture and entertainment. So I'd like to comment from the health and well-being. What about the main first challenge is related to the mental health issues. As we, due to the global outbreak of a disease, we have to tackle like novel acute problems. Those are related to the physical health issues. However, we discovered that mental health issues such as depression, anxiety have a lot of attention to pay. The second main challenge the statistics showed us was like fake news. We have a huge concern related to the growing rift and instability regarding this fake news that creates instability in our respective societies. And the third, the main, how to say, challenge is related to the just lack of trust towards the health system, and plus scarcity of proper specialists. And what about the opportunities? There are, however, like there are a huge goal to tackle these challenges. The first is that we have to pay more attention to the mental and physical health, and we realize that this is one of the most important issues that we have to like follow. Then the second is about to study on our mistakes. What are our biggest mistakes, and just to improve our care system. The third one is related to the creating a sustainable lifestyle from the beginning, like starting from the schools, just for as an illustration, to rethink the physical education for children, and to expand investments in the parental education as well, and etc. So these are all about the first topic, and I'd like to speak about the second topic, which is environment, climate, and energy. What about here? The first challenge is related to the ambiguous terms and imposing lack of the legal responsibilities to the main stakeholders who are responsible for to follow the these regulations. The second is just about that non-reach compromise on the international level among the international and non-governmental organizations. And the third is all about the people, which goes to the disbelief and rejection of the dominant environmental problems such as like climate change, which leads to the global warming. So what about the opportunities? The first opportunities to just improve the transportation system in our cities, and for this we have to increase the fundings. The second is to utilize the smart consumption of the resources from the beginning, because the key is to shift, and one of the most important is that we have to shift our linear economy to the circular economy. And the third is that we have to accelerate the mitigation procedures of the carbon dioxide. Now I will speak about the third topic, which is the cities and mobility. Here we have the first challenge is related to the inefficiently used resources, such as like in schools, parks, portals, and unused spaces as well. And the second main challenge is all about the shortfall of the green areas and public areas for our citizens, and not only. And the third is development gaps between poor and rich areas, and the small and big cities as well. So what about the opportunities? Opportunities, we have the first one is that we have to shift our behavior towards more shared economy. As an illustration, we can just utilize the electrical scooters, share cars, and the other examples, so we can illustrate as well. And the second main second main opportunity lies in the to digitalize public institutions, and the third is adoption of these public spaces to be relevant with the people with disabilities too. We have to, while we are doing something, we have to take into consideration these concerns as well. So what about the first topic I would like to speak about is the culture and entertainment. And so here is one of the biggest obstacles regarding the challenges, because the first is all about the lack of educational value in what is promoted by the media, and somehow there are irrelevant topics as well. And yeah, the second main challenge is all about that shortage in the culture and entertainment activities due to the due to the pandemic. We have to be isolated or quarantined and protect social distancing. And the third is about the decreased budgets of state institutions on art projects. However, in parallel, what about opportunities? Exactly, artists are the main key players to tackle these cultural and entertainment obstacles and drawbacks. And the first opportunity lies in the in painters that, for example, we can use their skills to tackle inequality issues and utilize all the visualization tools in order to grab people's attention and influence them positively. The second is collaboration between artists on an international and national levels. And the third is just to promote micro industries and communities such as e-sport, AI orchestra, and so on. And here we are, just to summarize and take into consideration these statistics. The best way to solve problems is to just foresee what kind of the challenges we will have for the following 3 years. And if we can see what kind of the challenges we will have, we can just avoid these challenges and overcome difficulties and find the root causes of the problems, and there will not be any more of the problems if we find the potential solutions on that. And yeah, finally, I'm very grateful for you watching us wherever you are in the world. And thank you so much for this great summit and for organizers, for our fellows, and for Dragos and Marija for a great collaboration. And now Marija will continue other topics. So thank you.
So I want to say that despite all the problems that we uncovered, these circumstances opened up huge room for innovation, especially in the business realm. So with the extended use of digitalization, we see companies having a stronger connection with people, appealing to core values and modifying their business plans to more people-oriented ones. Just remember who continued pushing their products and who stopped to ask how their employees were doing and if their customers really needed that product now or they have other priorities. Also, as we switched online, a huge space opened up for potential jobs unforeseen this far. We're no longer limited by standard career paths, but can combine different skills into our own unique puzzle. We now look for creative individuals with a combination of different skill sets, which then translate into a business model which invests in people and education, evident in the numerous EU funding opportunities and grants aimed at innovative individuals. Also, now more than ever, we're paying attention to not only what we learn, but how we learn it. Our world being as diverse as it is, equal access to education and a non-interchangeable curriculum are just holding us back from developing crucial 21st century skills such as critical thinking, entrepreneurship, and digital literacy. Now with the push towards online learning, there's no limit to what curious minds could do as long as we point them in the right direction. Besides factual knowledge, with education being as it is, we have the opportunity to challenge the way we manage our time, our innovation, as well as our prioritization. This is all new to students and teachers alike, but it's for the most part an unexplored area which we should pay attention to. We don't all learn in the same way, nor should we. If we say we are all unique, then our special skills and interests are also. And we should figure out curriculums that will motivate us to learn and grow and develop, but in our designated fields. And lastly, we can't ignore what some people call the biggest addiction of the 21st century. Yes, we spend a lot of time on our phones. Yes, it might not always be the smartest time spent, but I hope that you can see the shift that we've taken over the past 6 months in how we view social media and media in general. What was once a source of disinformation promoting shallow values is now as valuable of a resource as any. More and more people are using the fact that we're all a medium and have the power to have our voice heard to share and exchange. I mean, where else could you communicate with people globally, those you know or those you wish to meet? Build communities that challenge your opinion and expose you to reasoning outside of your own information bubble. That's where all the learning happens. Besides, everything we use was built by people. We spread fake news. We also build algorithms to tackle it. We fear for our privacy. We create new types of security. We don't like how social media is affecting us. We make it a more positive, learning, and community-driven place that will enrich us and connect us even outside of the four walls we're sadly forced to be in. We use it consciously because we know it can do more good than bad. What will all of this look like in 2023? Well, that depends solely on us. For every challenge, there is an opportunity to be discovered and utilized. I hope that you listen carefully, as all 100 Future Youth Fellows are working to do just this and would love nothing more than to include you in the process. So stay tuned and enjoy the Future Youth Summit.
How was it for you from 3 countries plus all the others from other countries to work together to actually come up with this very structured and logical report?
If may I jump? I think it's impressive how, even though people come from different backgrounds, the opinions tend to be the same. So that made our life easier when we organized the presentation and we put together the findings. It feels like the youth and like the people who are part of the programs have more or less a clear vision, of course with full of nuances, of course full of individual priorities, but it feels like the big problems of the world are the same everywhere. And that was my impression.
Marija, Tamar?
Actually, I was very surprised that, except what Dragos has mentioned, people were so determined, and they we were always on time everywhere, and everyone wanted to express their own idea. And thanks to organizers that everyone had to say something, and here are the results. Yeah.
Cool. Before Marija jumps in, just a short mention of what's going on in Future Youth Summit. In this fellowship, we have 100 young leaders from 10 countries, actually from 13 countries, and that meet once every 2 weeks from now on until April. So this is a long-term bet that we put in them, and then they put in themselves to run these conversations throughout the many months ahead and see how and what solutions we can push forward. Marija, you have the last words.
I want to say that innovation shouldn't be exclusive. There is 100 Future Youth Fellows, yes, but we plan to transmit this message and our knowledge to everyone we know, because these types of conversations are something we should all have a part in. These aren't things that only a selected few should talk about or have interest in. So I want to motivate all of you to share this message, and if you haven't shared, I don't know, an interesting piece of information, an interesting new fact, an interesting picture with someone you know, because if we're all included in solving the problem, it doesn't become a burden for a select few. It becomes something that we all work on, and we can actually build a social, innovative world.
That's very good. Thank you very much for taking the time to present your work so far. You can meet all of them at least once in April at the end of the fellowship, but at the beginning of a beautiful road ahead.